everyone, my name is Elizabeth, I'm a marine biologist and welcome back to another rock pooling adventure. Today we are going to explore somewhere amazing. This is Bracelet Bay, aka, and I'm going to do Mumbles. So that is Mumbles Head right there, the big lighthouse, the awesome crashing waves, and my channel is called MarineMumbles, so I'm very excited to be back here. This is actually the very first beach I ever went rock pooling as a marine biologist. When I was started my marine biology degree, we came here with a bunch of lecturers and got to go and explore the amazing sea life that is down at Bracelet Bay. And it was the first place I discovered the devil crab, which is by far the best crab or creature ever to exist. Barnacles are my favourite group. Devil crabs are my favourite type of creature. Fan of the crustaceans, as you can tell from my lovely krill top, which is actually going to have to go off right now because, well, the top's staying on. It's going to have to disappear from camera because I'm going to have to waterproof up. This is in South Wales, and usually if I'm in Scotland and I know it's going to stay dry, but I'll get a bit wet in the rock pools and I can dry off again, I don't wear waterproof trousers because I know I'm just going to go in. But in Wales it could rain in about a second, and it's pretty much as much rain as you getting a bath anyway, plus I want to be going exploring those rock pools properly. So I'm going to waterproof trouser up, fleece up, coat up, get ready because we are 2 hours before low tide, and then we're rock pooling here for as long as possible to make the most of my 11-hour train journey it took to get from Scotland to here. I'm gonna make the most of the rock pooling, right? So let's get changed. Right, I think it's time to go. I am so unbelievably excited to be back here to show you this absolutely incredible animal, which I took for granted when I was like back here during my undergraduate. I just thought something this cool was on every beach, but genuinely I think I've only seen this incredible ecosystem kind of here at Bracelet Bay. It is thriving and it is fantastic. Or at least I hope it's thriving. That is in context of me seeing so much of it today and being very, very excited. This is a sabellaria reef. Now, it sounds really cool, sounds really mysterious. It is a worm. Now I know you're thinking, a worm? You big this up so much. No, this is incredible. So sabellaria is a worm that is a reef building creature, and anything that builds reefs is not only awesome but incredibly important. So what a sabellaria worm will do is form a kind of sandy shell around itself like a tube, and lots of sabellaria worms will live together and they'll start to build and build and build, just like coral, these big reef ecosystems. And I'm having to be careful where I walk today because there's bits of rock, and then growing out of that rock are these big giant almost honeycomb like clumps of these worms. Now anything that's an ecosystem engineer is what it's called. Anything that builds its own kind of habitat, home, builds these big structures by itself is called this ecosystem engineer. And the reason that ecosystem engineers are so incredibly important is that it's not only providing a home for the worm itself, but a home for probably tens to hundreds of other creatures as well. It's changing the environment around it. In between all the little tubes of sand and these big structures that it's creating, there are things living on it, bits of seaweed, bits of sea lettuce, bits of lava. So if anyone in Wales likes some lava bread, there's some porphyra growing on that, which is lava, which is the seaweed that lava bread is made from. A proper Welsh delicacy. If you're over here, give it a whirl. I'm not going to say if you'll like it or not, give it a whirl. but it's also changing the kind of the dynamics around it. It's providing kind of caves and coves and bits of shelter for animals and places animals can hide. It's such an incredible environment, and I don't think it itself is legally protected, as in if there's a bit of sabellaria somewhere, it isn't immediately protected by law, but it is really used as an indicator to help convince, show, share, provide the importance of an ecosystem and provide the importance of protecting an area. So if sabellaria is involved, then people that are looking at policy and protecting our seas are immediately going to see this and see the benefit of having it here and why it needs to be protected. And I just love it so much because inverts are amazing and awesome. Things like that backbone, wiggly worms are the best. And I'm so glad that this is here as an example of just how important a single animal and something that maybe someone would have gone, oh, just a worm, but how important and incredible that is, and the knock-on effect that can have for the whole of the rocky shore and for the whole of this coastline. Yes, go sabellaria, high five. I'm not actually going to touch it because I'll leave it alone. High five. Good old lifting over the rock for rock pooling. I've started trying to film me turning over rocks because there's always something awesome that swims away. But then when I do record and turn over rocks, there tends to not be, like in this case. But there was such just gorgeous rocks and sea life covering the rocks in this short. So many sponges and seaweeds like this one, which was amazing. And just like all this crusty loveliness, which is my favourite. And the gorgeous devil crab. There was one hiding kind of under a crevice next to that rock. The devil crab is my absolute favourite and is just one of the best creatures, if not the best creature ever, as I've said already in this video. But what a landscape to just be searching around. These epic creatures in just like this epic location. This is a thick top shell, which I haven't seen in a while. They're much more common down here. It's like a big, giant, kind of shiny shell that has a bit of opalescence, a bit like a pearl, which is gorgeous. When you see lots of diversity of seaweeds, lots of different types, colours, shapes, the reds, greens, the pinks, it's just something amazing to look at. And I really find it kind of helps relax me and just zone out. And I was recording these bryozoans and I noticed these little tiny juvenile porcelain crabs. And look at this cutie. It was I think the waving, I thought maybe it was feeding, but I think it was trying to act maybe bigger than it was. I don't know. It was so unbelievably cute and did that kind of fun thing until it ran away. Oh my goodness, just absolutely incredibly cute. Oh, and then we've got a new barnacle species that's feeding. This is Balanus perforatus, which is a volcano barnacle. I saw them a lot down here, but I don't think I've seen them kind of up and in Scotland. So, I love a new species of barnacle to get on recording and to see it feeding. Yes, so cute. Managed to find a just non-sabellariad patch enough for me to sit down, and there's this awesome rock pool here with lots of rocks in, and I'm hoping for some small lovely beasties. It's always the small rock pools that can hold the most potential for the tiny things, or for a cool thing stuck in there that you can film. It's quite a lot of sponges. What an absolute beauty. What a gorgeous, absolutely stunning nudibranch sea slug. Amazing, cute little thing. What is incredible about this one is just, and a lot of the sea slugs actually, it's just how small they are, and in this like vast, incredible rocky shore, how you find them, like that is like no bigger than the tip of my finger. And what didn't come up on camera, on my underwater camera, was how purple it was. The body of it was a glowing bright blue, and then when I got it like under my camera afterwards, that kind of glowing blue went away. But I looked at the description for this species, and actually that blue is an iridescent, and you can kind of see it kind of peeking in on its like at the top of its face there. And I think because I had the camera so close to it, I was blocking out the light, which is great for filming in terms of like getting a consistent light over the creature. But I think it was blocking out that kind of sunlight that needs to iridesce. But I was just so happy with this find because I didn't really know about sea slugs when I was undergrad, so I never looked for them. So I was like, I'm sure, like looking back, I was like, I'm sure this shore is as covered in sea slugs. I'm sure it will be. And I'm just kind of really chuffed that I managed to find one, and it was just me not looking all those years ago. And I managed to find one. I'm so happy. What an incredible sea slug. I know there had to be something on there. I knew it. I looked at that rock. I was like, that is a sea slug rock. There's no way that doesn't have a sea slug on it. No way. It's so beautiful. Now, I think it's only fair, and I know that the focus is usually on the species, but to take a minute just to take in this breathtaking location. And I think part of the reason I am so obsessed with how it looks is, well, firstly, my channel is called MarineMumbles because Mumbles Head, which you could see in the background with the lighthouse, kind of really inspired me to start this channel. I suppose it just inspired my kind of work. I've actually got a separate video on that I filmed when I was down, so you can go and check out a bit more about learning where MarineMumbles came from. But it's just stunning, and I remember falling in love with this place and choosing this place to be the first place I moved to when I left home for the first time, the place where I learnt marine biology and learnt all these facts. And look at me, I'm just tiny, dwarfed on these rocky shores, and this beach is kind of where I fell truly in love with the rock pooling. And I mean, you can see why, right? Look at it, it's so good. I am having just such a fantastic time, but the tide's coming in, of course it is. I mean, that's why we can go rock pooling, because the tide goes out, but I'm always a bit sad when it comes in. I mean, just look at this backdrop, hearing the waves, all of the awesome creatures. I'm so chuffed with that sea slug, so chuffed. And there's lots of different bits. I am rock pooling here in, oh God, it's almost September, it's almost October now. So I'm at the end of kind of the season. All of the little juvenile things that have grown up big have probably swum off for a bit. There's a few movie things left here, but not a ton of stuff. They usually move out of the rock pools at this point. They're big enough to strong enough to defend themselves. So it's nice to try and catch all the little stuff, the stuff that's going to stay here, the crusty stuff. That's the stuff I like anyway. Oh, and it's just glorious. But yeah, this is going to absolutely come in really quick, especially because the wind is blowing in to help blow it up the shore. So a reluctant and careful wander back up what is now, I'm just going to take a quick video. I keep saying the tide's coming out. Don't worry guys, it's safe. I'm good for a little bit. I'm just going to take a video of just how, whoop, there's you, are you? Look at we've got the sea is here and it's coming in, but look at just how much rock there now is from when I started over there. It's just knockout incredible. And I love a windy kind of day. Well, I don't really. This is a breezy day. This is nice. This is okay. It feels like I'm out in the elements, which is great. Oh, it's just so visually stunning. With that minor procrastination, come on, let's wander back up. But I mean, it's not like I'm gonna not look in all the rock pools as I go back up. Of course I am. There are still awesome creatures to be found. So I drew myself away from looking at the wonderful landscape and all of the lovely rock pools, and we turned over a few more rocks. This I knew would swim away immediately. You can see, I think it's a shanny in there, quite a big one. I knew immediately as I tried to put my underwater camera in, it would swim away. You can tell the point at which I'm going to put my underwater camera in, because it does do just that. I stopped filming on my phone to go put in my underwater camera, and just then it disappears. There were also quite a few fish darting around, which I couldn't manage to get videos of. They were very skittish here, which is fair enough. I'm a big scary human, of course I would. So I got some video of me kind of going through the rock pool, and there were a few twists and turns because there were some fish darting around. I was trying to capture it, but I don't think it did. But I quite like this. This is a floaty eye view through this just gorgeous sandy bottom rock pools with just 1, 2, 3,
4 species of seaweed there at the very least. 5 with that little bit of Chondrus crispus popping in. That's the seaweed with the iridescent kind of blue. And then on the rocks, look at this, there's sponges, there's hydroids, there's bryozoans, there's more different types of seaweed. There's barnacles, there's bryozoans, there's crusty tube worms, gorgeous shrimps or prawns, one or the other. I think there's actually a difference. I've got to work that out. Sea lettuce, bright green and absolutely lovely. And this fast zooming flat top shell. And this is, in all fairness, sped up 2 times the speed, just to speed it up a tiny bit. But still, look, it's like a race car with its racing stripes. It was going for it. The other one was like, oh, just watching it going, nope, too much. Too fast for me. And some gorgeous limpets. And then I found this humongous crab, which I love. Look how gorgeous it is. Blowing some lovely rainbow bubbles. This crab knows where it's at. It knows to support the LGBTQIA plus community. It knows to support our trans friends. It knows to share the love. We're all with some lovely rainbow bubbles. And just, it's absolutely stunning how gorgeous these crabs are and how their claws, the details of them, the strength that these claws have is absolutely incredible in an edible crab. You don't want to get your fingers near there, but they're such a calm creature that you can kind of get up close and have a look. That gorgeous mottled coloured shell. And this is quite small for an edible crab still. It's still pretty big. It's probably as big as I could hold just from like how wide I'm holding my fingers with their hairy legs. But they'll go offshore as they get older in life and be those really big crabs that everyone goes and eats. Hence the name edible crab. But I just find them really, really stunning. And they always blow bubbles for some reason. One of my highest viewed videos is a short of a very, very cute baby crab blowing bubbles. And I'm here for it. I think it is super cute. And here is a much smaller one that I found later on too. Just chilling. That calm, nice manner, like I said before. Just acting like a pebble. So this is sped up as well, this video, but it's a nice reminder to keep an eye on the tide, because as the tide kind of comes back behind you, it can really race in these waves and start flowing in. So always keep an eye on the tide, make sure you know exactly how to get back up the shore, stay kind of back from those kind of waves. I'm just filming it here as it kind of comes up this channel and comes in only a few minutes, so be careful everyone.
I have had just such a blast here today. It's been proper flashbacks of like different things. Like I'm just looking at this rock right here, and I have to take a video of it after I stop talking, because I swear that this exact rock formation was on the first MarineMumbles website. The first time I did MarineMumbles as a website, I put up pictures of like Bracelet Bay and did a blog about it, and all of the pictures of all the limpets and stuff, which is why I wanted to film a video, which I'm filmed like separate to this, coming out about limpets on this particular beach, because I just remember it being so limpet-ified. I just had like an absolute, is that, oh, that's something on my camera, don't worry about that. I've just had an absolute blast getting to kind of relive those undergrad days and just comfort rock pool. I mean, can you have comfort rock pool? Yes, you can. I mean, all rock pools for me are quite comforting, but this has felt particularly, it's nostalgic rock pooling. But the tide is coming in, so I'm probably going to have to end it. Super happy about the nudie blanket. That makes me really, really happy. The bit that struck me the most was just how much life and diversity and change there was. It was just really awesome, which is really, really cool. So I will catch you in the next video, guys. I'm going to go on more coastal adventures. Yes! Rock pooling for the win! Mumbling! MarineMumbles! Summary! Goodbye.